Okay, this particular person's resume, I do not like this font. It's funny. It looks like the person, actually, I was thinking like a jungle war when I saw this, because it looks kind of like military in nature, this particular resume. But with this font, you typically want to go to regular fonts. I don't like PO boxes, and I'll tell you why I don't like PO boxes, and I'm going to be very blunt here. Every time that every person that I've ever known, which isn't a lot, there's 3 or 4 people that has done something illegal that I've encountered in my legal career and gone to prison, I always used a PO box. So I understand there's reasons for using PO boxes. I'm not saying that there's any reason not to, and I certainly know people that use PO boxes, but it's just kind of like you're hiding the ball. You're not telling people where you are. You're better off just putting nothing on there and just saying, because people know you live in Puerto Rico based on where you are at. Oh, commissioned officer. Okay, that's why there's a military thing there. That's fun. Again, make sure you fix the spacing and this sort of thing. And then let me just see. Notary public. Is this person an attorney? Okay. Okay, let's see here. Texas State Guard member. Okay, it's Phi Alpha. Again, I guess you can put that on there. A lot of people have done that, but I don't know that it's necessary. Okay, I guess it looks like another resume after here. Okay, this is another resume without name. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this particular resume, the stuff about being a notary public is probably not going to help you get a position. So if you're a notary public, that's not practicing law. So I would probably just remove that and make sure you have just this stuff up here, what you've been doing from 2004. I would take this off. I would also take this off. And look at this, professionals misspelled. So these sorts of errors, by the way, are they're very serious. I had an instance once where I was interviewing with a law firm through a recruiter, and the recruiter had retyped my resume. And for some reason, I don't know why they did that. I don't even remember. And anyway, they had retyped my resume and they had made a typo, and that law firm was ready to make me an offer. And then after that happened, they found the typo, they actually pulled the offer. And then the recruiter had to be like, listen, I retyped it. So it was a problem. So you need to be very careful about typos and stuff in your resumes. Everyone needs to run this stuff through software. Then after running things through software, you need to be very careful about how you do things. And then if this person is a solo practitioner, that's great. So family and civil litigation, criminal, there's nothing wrong with being a generalist. And so I would just put down a couple lines about what was done and leave it at that. You don't need to put a lot of information. And then this is where the person got training. That's fine too. So just leave it at that. And then I think a lot of this bolding stuff is probably done by our software when it converted everything, but try to use the same font consistently and then shorten all this. And then a former commissioned officer. Okay, yeah, managing millions of dollars of military equipment isn't really relevant. I'm looking at this resume just from the standpoint of being an attorney someplace and not necessarily what other types of job this person could do. But I would do things like this. I would change the font and make sure the font's consistent. As an example, you can see how much better it's going to look. And then there you go. You don't want too much of the personality to come through. Even though this person is a military type person, and it's kind of cool to have a military font, you still want to make it look as normal as possible. And then once you've done this, it's going to look a lot better. And then a lot of this language too, by the way, the problem when people start writing a lot is they open themselves up to criticism. And so everybody here needs to be cognizant of, like, when you're writing a resume, open yourself up to criticism. So different attorneys are trained at different levels. Like, some of the best attorneys out there would look at the stuff I write and they would be like, this guy has no freaking idea what he's doing. And I look at people's writing and do the same thing. And you just have to be careful. But if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, supervise a team of 3 paralegals and other legal personnel to ensure productivity. Obviously, what else so there's not really a need for that. There's not a need for that line. That has nothing to do with anything. And develop and maintain relationships. That's great. For what? I mean, did you get business and design budgets to ensure they were met by a dairy farm? No. Yeah. So most of this stuff is unnecessary. You just wanted to basically, this is all you need, really. This is going to be much more powerful than this. And then again, all this underlining and stuff really needs to go. And you don't really need all this bolding. And this Yeah, pro bono. Most of this stuff needs to go. So this attorney, and this person has a lot of experience. This person in court and everything could probably run circles around the majority of people on this call. It's just they haven't put their experience down correctly, and they've emphasized things that aren't necessary. And this stuff, PRUSA, I would just put. I don't know that you need. You might want to just put the location, but you don't need to say USA there. People don't say New York, USA. So you just need to think through how this stuff is done. And then this is actually pretty good. Like, these are describing the work that you did. Problem, again, anybody that's a military attorney that's on this call, military attorneys continually, people in the military learn to write, learn to speak and think in a certain way. And I think it's probably a good way for the military to teach people, because it's probably very good. But you just need to be very careful about too much information. It's just, if you put too much stuff there, it confuses people. And if you have different fonts and stuff, it confuses people. And things, you want them to look just very simple. And you need to break through all that. And I hope everyone on this call so far understands that. People put too much information. And when you put too much information, it gives people stuff to use against you. You want to just be very direct with things and then describe what you're doing.